Hello, welcome to Moist Nougat. I am the kid. I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Mine was pretty good, pretty low key. We were gonna have my in-laws down, and unfortunately, my mother-in-law got sick, so she stayed home. Bert, my father-in-law, came down. He watched the Packers game with us, and then he went back to make a dish or two, and we were down here finishing up getting our dinner together, and he was supposed to make green bean casserole, and he called down to my wife and said, do you have any green beans? And we were like, no, why? I mean, my wife was looking for frozen green beans in the freezer. We had no green beans. His green beans were bad, he said. So we did not have green bean casserole. But we had plenty of food. And so we had a good time at FaceTime with my family that wasn't here in town with me. And so yeah, it was Thanksgiving. Good food. Had some drinks. The Packers won, so good for my wife. And yeah, enjoyed it. Had a good day. But inevitably comes a rant. And this is not really a Thanksgiving rant, but it's a post Thanksgiving rant. Things that I was talking up to, leading into Thanksgiving, prior to Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was great. Had a good time. Got up Friday morning, went and met up with the people that were buying shit from me, sold that stuff, and came back to the house and basically collapsed. I was just tired. And but the USB hub that I purchased from Best Buy that was supposed to be here the next day, well, it didn't get here the next day, which I knew it wasn't going to be here the next day. And I was saying, if it doesn't get here Monday, I'm going to call them. Well, I waited till like Tuesday. It was almost noon on Tuesday when I called them. And of course, I get Linda from New Delhi, and this is not a smack on anybody from New Delhi, but I have a tough time with the accent. And so she's asking me, and number one, I know her name isn't fucking Linda. And I hate that companies make them, my name's Bob or Linda or Gene or, Larry. No, it's not. Does that make it more believable that they might be your next door neighbor? Not really, no. It's, but anyways, that's just part of the rant. But anyways, nothing against Linda from New Delhi or wherever she's from. She could be in the United States. I don't know. But I have a tough time with the accent. And she's asking for the order number, and I give her a couple digits, and she's like, okay. And she's talking over me while I'm trying to give her, and she does it like every 2 digits. I'm like, are you actually getting the fucking number that I'm giving you? Because you're talking over me while I'm giving you the number. And then before I'm done, you're like, okay, next number. No, I'm not mocking anybody. It's not what I'm doing. I'm already frustrated because the damn thing was supposed to be here the next day. Didn't get here. Knew it wasn't going to come on Sunday because UPS doesn't deliver on Sunday. So And I'm looking at it online, and it hasn't shipped. It hasn't moved. It's just sitting there saying UPS. Sunday, I get a message saying label has been created. And I'm like, all right, well, it's going to ship Monday, so it should be here Tuesday. Monday, I look at it, and it's just still sitting there. UPS label created. Carrier hasn't received package yet. And I'm like, so I wait all day. You know, I probably looked at it 100 times on Monday. Not like I needed this thing. It wasn't the end of the world if I didn't get it. But it's the fact that when you buy something and they say it's going to be there at a certain time, and then they're telling you it might be December 2nd. And I'm like, no. So Tuesday rolls around. It's probably like 11:30 on Tuesday. I'm like, I'm calling. And this is when I got Linda from New Delhi. And and she's like, oh, it's probably the holiday rush. I said, no. The holiday rush doesn't have anything to do with it. She's like, well, if it's, it should be there by, December 2nd. And I was like, well, I already knew this because I looked on the website. All this information that you're giving me, I already knew. So you need to tell me something different because this isn't satisfactory to me. I said, can I just cancel the order? Can I just cancel it? Because I could have drove to another store in the last day or two and just picked up the item that I needed that had it in stock. And she's got to talk to somebody else and she's putting me on hold. I'm like, okay, whatever. Okay, put me on hold. She comes back and she's like, it'll be there. I didn't understand what she said. I had to ask her 3 times because I thought she said like the 2nd or the 3rd. And I'm like, she's like the 24th or 25th. And I'm like, all right, so Friday or Saturday. But she still wouldn't cancel the order. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And she's like, is there anything else I can help you with? And I'm like, honestly, you didn't help me with anything today. And I just hung up. And I kind of feel bad still about it that I hung up on her, but she's probably used to it. But she literally didn't help me with anything. Like I wanted to cancel the order, and then she comes back and she said it'll be there Friday or Saturday. And I'm like, but that's not what you were working on. You were working on just canceling the fucking order. Anyways, the fucking thing showed up on Wednesday. It got here Wednesdays at some point in time. I don't know what time. But, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so next day, I guess, to them is, 4 days. But yeah, that pisses me off. And then here we are. We're almost Thanksgiving. And it's ridiculously warm out one day and then cold the next. And then it gets cold at night. I can handle the warmer in the day and then cold at night because I get it. The fucking sun goes down and it gets dark and it cools off. I mean, I'm not a moron. Contrary to popular belief. But when it gets so warm the bees are still out. They were out there today. The fucking bees are still out there. Not as many of them today. And I have apparently a head that says, come buzz my ears and fuck with me for all the bees and wasps and everything that live. But anyways, I was wearing an App State hat, a yellow App State hat the other day. And because I was like, it's a little bit cooler. I can go outside. I can wear my yellow and shit like that because I don't generally wear yellow and colors like that during the warmer months because it does attract bees. And so I generally don't. But I'm like, it's fucking almost Thanksgiving. I should be able to wear my App State hat that my niece got me. So I'm sitting out there. And my wife looks over and she goes, oh, my God, look at your hat. And I take my hat off. It's fucking covered with, I guess, no-see-ums or gnats or whatever you want to call them. These tiny little fucking bugs, just covered. Well, then I had the creeps for 2 hours afterwards, even though I shook them all off the hat, got them all off the hat. I said, I guess I can't wear this hat today. And this was in the afternoon. And, I had a yellow wristband on and they weren't covered on that, but the whole rest of the day, I just felt like I had bugs in my hair and everything else. So it freaked me out. And, I'm like, what the fuck, man? It's fucking November. Why are these bugs everywhere? And they just fly right around your face. And it's just, I said, I was so pissed. I was like, I hope it gets 30 below zero for 3 weeks this winter. And I'm not even lying. Maybe not 30 below, but 10, 0, anywhere between 20 degrees and 0 degrees. 30 below is a little bit fucking cold. I don't know if I got clothes that I can handle 30 below. But then we get a thunderstorm, and I open the front door, and I'm looking through the storm window, and all of a sudden it starts hailing. I'm like, I told my wife, I said, it's fucking hailing. And now the hail was the size of, BB-sized hail to, a little bit bigger than BB-sized hail. So it wasn't doing damage, but I was like, this is just crazy weather for this time of year. And, a little bit of thunder off in the background. We don't get any fucking snow. Of course, they say we're getting snow this year, so that remains to be seen. Like I said, 0 to 20 and bunch of snow won't hurt my feelings. I don't care if we can't go anywhere for a couple of days. It's not a big deal. Because generally what happens when it snows in North Carolina, 3 days later it's 60 degrees. So it's not like you're, going to be stuck for any long period of time. But yeah. And I only bring this up because I was watching the Ohio State-Michigan game today. And pretty good game. I was watching it and doing other stuff at the same time. But at the end of the game, Michigan picked off the pass. It basically was the end of the game. But they got a 15-yard flag because one of the players took their helmets off. And this is just such a no-brainer. Why? Because, if you do it now, you might do it where the game's over now at this point. You won the game. There's only 25 seconds left, and they have no timeouts. You just intercepted the ball. 15 yards doesn't really make a difference. But why do you do it? You know that it's a 15-yard penalty when you take your fucking hat off when you're on the field. It's just, and on top of that, what's even more infuriating is I've seen this, I don't remember who, but it was a college, I've seen it twice this year so far, where a player was running into the end zone, and because they want to hot shot it, they actually dropped the ball before they crossed the fucking goal line. And so it's technically a fumble at the 1 yard line or whatever. What are you doing? What are you thinking? You've got this whole area that's usually painted up different. You just, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. It happened several years ago in the NFL. You don't see it much in the NFL, but you do see it in college sometimes. It has happened in the NFL, though. The Eagles. Can't remember Deshaun, what the hell his name was, but he did that. Ran it in, dropped it at the 1 yard line. Celebrating before he actually scored the touchdown. I don't understand it. as a coach, what do you do? I mean, what do you do as a coach? Basically, when they score a touchdown, they hang on to the ball and carry it back and hand it to the coach. That's the only thing you can tell them to do. Like, screw the celebrations. I honestly think in the NFL now, they spend more time working on their fucking dances, their touchdown celebrations, or their interception celebrations, or fumble fucking recovery. God damn, I couldn't spit that fucking word out for nothing, could I? Fumble recovery celebrations than they do on tackling. Really, because tackling is piss poor in the NFL. With good reason, though, because, I mean, shit, you hit anybody and you get a flag, and then they pick up an extra 15 yards. So they've killed the game, and some people say, well, it's all player safety. Well, to me, it's like we've gotten to a point with the NFL where you can't hit anybody. It's almost like taking a boxing match and going, all right, have a good, clean fight. Remember, no punches allowed. What? It's a boxing match. We're not allowed to hit each other? Well, no, because, you might hurt each other. Yeah. You confused? So am I. Completely confused. And I'm a Broncos fan. Kareem Jackson has been fined 4 times or 3 times or whatever. Suspended 2 games. Now he's suspended for 4 games. He's old school. And Tom Brady came out and said, guys like Ronnie Lott and there was a lot of them. Some of them are Broncos, in my opinion. Steve Atwater, Dennis Smith, but Ronnie Lott. You just said guys that were hard hitters. Just about every tackle they made would be a penalty now. Like it's a defensive player. I don't even know how you play the game. Yeah, the NFL is taking the fun out of the game, and I get it. I don't want to see guys get hurt. I don't want to see guys 10 years or 15 or 20 years after they retire have problems with the brain shit going on and stuff like that. But at the same time, you're making a lot of money, and the risks at this point. We're not going back to the 50s now, where they didn't know the risks, and then they didn't even make the money back then. I mean, these guys back then, they were working Monday through Friday and then going and playing football on Sunday for, $50 a game or whatever. But now, it's we know the concussions and all that. We know what the risks are. So if you're going to play the game, then you know what the risks are. We can't ruin the game to the point where it's not even tackle football anymore. Because, if we're going to do that, then just take the pads off, put flags on, and we'll just watch flag football. Well, the NFL doesn't want to do that because, God forbid, they're going to lose money. That's why we have Black Friday games and Sunday night games and Thursday night games and Monday night games and Christmas Eve games and Christmas Day games and, day after, Labor Day games and day after Arbor Day games. I'm just making shit up now, but it is a little bit ridiculous. I'm a diehard football fan, but it's hard to watch games other than, the Broncos. And sometimes that's been hard this season. We are on a winning streak, so hopefully that continues. But after that, when I'm watching a game that doesn't really matter to me, it's like, do I really want to watch all these commercials? It's money, 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 money. Just constantly. Just, we got to get money. We got to get money. We got to get money. It's just, how much fucking money do we need? Like, when is enough money enough money? And that goes for the players too. The reason the players, or the reason the NFL, I don't know so much the NFL, but the owners, it's just a trickle down effect, basically. I mean, these players, you get a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers that's, signs a, 6-year, $178 million contract. It's like, that's great, but like, do you really, if you've already made like $75 million, like, why do you need another $178 million? And because you're taking that kind of contract, that means that now they have to, like, other players have to take less money to play. Like, you have to find lesser players that are willing to play for lesser contracts, I guess. So now you don't have a team around you. Like, if, like, 178, and I don't know if that's the actual number, but he did take a huge contract several years ago. He was the highest played quarterback. Well, that's been surpassed at least 5 or 6 times now. But I just don't, and then the players say, well, I got to take care of my family. What do you mean you got to take care of your family? Your fucking rookie contract should have took care of your family for generations. You signed a $20 million rookie contract for 4 years. $20 million. You know what $20 million does? It does a lot. As long as you're not buying fucking gold chains and fucking Rolls Royces and 18 houses, it does a lot. I don't know. But because they're making so much money, the owners have to charge more for ticket prices and concessions and this and that. And then the NFL charges more. And like I said, it's it will trickle up effect almost, actually. And I'm not saying the players shouldn't get paid good money, but I mean, there's a difference between good money and just stupid fucking money. You know what I'm saying? Like, stupid money. Like, if I make, if I get 10 sacks, I get my base salary, but if I make one more, I get $1 million bonus. It's like, fuck, I'd be tackling everybody to get that $1 million. But that's $1 million. But when you're already making $10 million that year, like, really, is $1 million? Like, I get it. Everybody chases money, but we chase money so hard now in our society. We chase it so hard to the point where it's just like, how much do we need? This wasn't even going to be my rant. Money was not even part of my rant. But I got talking about the NFL, and like I said, my dedication and loyalty to the NFL is waning more and more every fucking year. And it doesn't help that the Broncos have sucked for 8 years. Like I said, we're playing better, but we're still not great. We're not good. 5 field goals and a touchdown to end up winning the game. 5 field goals, that's not good enough. 3 of those were touchdowns, and then the touchdown, it would have been a solid fucking win. But 5 field goals and 1 touchdown, that's not good enough. We need to do better. But I'm going to move on from the NFL because I could go on and on and on. Really sorry for talking so much about the NFL. Wasn't my intention. I actually bypassed a bunch of shit. So basically, now that Thanksgiving is surpassed, we're into what I call stupid season. And that means that it's really hard to go anywhere and get anything. Even essentials. If you just need to go to the grocery store, or you need to run to Walmart, or, it's just fucking stupid. But I'm going to jump ahead and do my last NFL thing real quick. Christmas Eve falls on Sunday this year, so there's football on Sunday. The Broncos are playing at like 8:20. It's like, really? God, like the meat of Christmas Eve, like 8 o'clock to like 11 o'clock, is like I'm going to be watching football and not, participating in Christmas Eve. And then of course, they've got, games the day before because, we can't watch all the games on Christmas Eve. So we'll have a few on, Saturday before Christmas Eve. And then of course we're going to have games on Monday as well. Like we've got to get every fucking dollar we can possibly get. To me, I like, it sucks for the players. I mean, having to travel, like they should be able to be home with their families and stuff like that. I just feel like it's like, just take the fucking week off. Like, we're not going to die if we don't have football. You're not going to die if you don't have all the advertising dollars from that, day of football. But I don't know. So it is what it is. And I'll be watching football on Christmas Eve this year. And probably the following week on my birthday and New Year's Eve or whatever. What New Year's Eve doesn't bother me because I don't go out anymore on New Year's Eve and party and do all that shit. So to have a reason to stay up till 11 o'clock, 11:30 New Year's Eve watching football is not a bad thing because I only have to wait a half hour. Okay, it's the new year and now I can go to fucking bed. But yeah, I had to get that last little thing out there. But yeah, Thanksgiving's gone and now it's shopping season. I don't know anybody that participated in Black Friday. My Black Friday consisted of going and selling some stuff that I had and then coming back here to my house. I did not go. I was going to get donuts because I met these people at Dunkin' Donuts and I was like, I really wanted to get some donuts. Dunkin' Donuts was a motherfucking clusterfuck. I started walking in there and I was like, I saw all the people and I was like, no, I don't need donuts. But chances are they're not going to have any of the donuts I want anyways. So I'm not going to go in there and get in line and then find out that they don't have any of the donuts I want. Because, I mean, Lise wanted like 3 or 4 Boston creams. My wife wanted some crullers. And then I would just pick, a few, oddball ones here and there. Anything with chocolate on it, it's going to be good. But yeah, anywhere you go, it's going to just be a clusterfuck now. Even the grocery stores, for some reason. It's like everybody buys more groceries between Thanksgiving and New Year's. Like, it just doesn't matter where you go. The traffic's bad. Lines are bad. Of course, especially lines are bad. I mean, because all these places think that, we should just check ourselves out so they don't open any aisles up. And so it's all self-checkout. And then, half the people that are going through self-checkout have no concept of how it fucking even works. Number one, you don't go into the self-checkout line if you have a full cart of groceries. You just don't do it. Well, people do all the time. I see it just all year long. I see it. And then what happens is the person that's working the aisle ends up checking them out like they're going through a fucking line. And I was just there to buy like a 6-pack of beer, and now I've got to wait 20 minutes because the person that's supposed to come and type in the code that I'm legal to buy a 6-pack of beer is 20 minutes in to checking out somebody with a full cart of groceries. But it even gets worse at Christmas time. It just does. I don't know. Is Christmas good for you? I don't have kids, and I'm I'm going to be 55 in a little over a month. 50 fucking 5. Scary as shit, man. I almost had a panic attack the other night thinking about it. How old I'm getting. Like, I don't want to get old. It sucks, man. I don't want to get old. But I already am, basically. But I've always wanted, like, the Norman Rockwell Christmas, like where the whole family's together and everybody's, it's snowing outside and there's a fire going in the fireplace and, I don't know. The romanticizing of Christmas, I guess, of, not what the true spirit of Christmas is. But, and I have had some Christmases that were Norman Rockwell-ish. But I think when you're younger, when you're little, when you're a kid, Christmases are always pretty good. For most kids. I mean, I know there's lots of kids out there that it isn't, and that sucks. But we're not going to get into that part of the people that make $20 million a year and the other people that make $20,000 a year. We're not. That's a different podcast. I didn't grow up wealthy, but I never went without. I think there was times that I don't remember as much as my mom does that things were really, really, thin. But somehow I think my mom is actually Santa Claus because she's always been able to pull off the amazing Christmas. She just always has. But I think the older you get, it's not about, presents, and it's more about time with family and that kind of stuff. And because you just can't get it back. When people are gone, they're gone. And you have to take advantage of it when you can. And I did talk to my parents, Dana Lee and my mom, on Thanksgiving Eve. We FaceTimed. And they are coming back at the beginning of December, so I'm hoping to spend as much time as I can with them. And hopefully we're going to do a third annual Christmas podcast with my mom, because that's always fun. And looking forward to that. But I was going to get the Christmas lights and shit down on Friday, but I had to go meet up with these people to sell that shit. And when I came back, I was, my back was hurting, this and that, because I'm getting fucking old. It's fun, but it's not fun. It's a hassle, but you do it anyways because it's like, fuck it. I'm not going to put lights up this year. Why bother putting up a tree this year? But it's like you have to. You feel like you have to. Because if you don't, you're going to regret it. You're going to be like 2 days before Christmas, and it's like, no, I'm not going to get all the shit down now. So you just do it at the... Well, for me, it's usually December 1st. I'm good with Christmas decorations and shit coming out. Like, anytime after Thanksgiving is fine. I know people are into it and they want to have their trees up and as long as they can. And I mean, hell, if the first Christmas commercials started coming on TV, and they were basically car commercials and before fucking Halloween. That's just too early, man. It's just too early. Like the week before Thanksgiving should be the earliest you can have Christmas commercials. like I said, once December 1st hits, I get it. The Christmas carols are going to come on. I'll even put them on in my car. After, once December 1st gets here. But it's just so commercialized at this point. I wanted to say, like, the traffic and shit. It was so stupid. I went out the night before Thanksgiving, so Wednesday night, because I knew my wife was going to be cooking all day Thursday. And I said, I'm just going to go get a pizza. And that way you don't have to cook anything. We'll just get a pizza. So I went out to get the pizza, and I'm on my way down, and there's an accident in front of this gas station. It's in the other lane. Well, no, it's actually in both lanes, all four lanes, actually. So it backed up a little bit, but we got through it. But it had just happened because the people are walking around. There's still shit all over the road, and I get down to the pizza place and go in to get my pizza and come back out. And I'm like, I'm not going back that way. Because by the time I go back that way, the fire trucks will be there and the ambulances and probably everything's going to be shut down for, 20 minutes or whatever. So I'm going to go this way. So I went that way and I'm going down there and all of a sudden I see like fire trucks and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? And now this is a divided highway, I guess you could say, but it's not a highway. It's just a boulevard. Where I live, there's lots of boulevards. 4 lanes, 2 lanes on each side with a, grassy median in the middle and then, places where you can turn. And I'm going down through there, and fortunately it was on the other side because everybody that was going the other way is going to be backed up forever. I don't know how it happened. It was a head-on collision in the other lane. And both those lanes were going the opposite way I was going. But one of those cars, I don't know, I didn't see where anybody hopped the median or anything. It looked like somebody just turned and went the wrong way on the fucking, I don't know. But this is 2 accidents in like 15 minutes the day before Thanksgiving. Like, I don't even want to drive anywhere at this point in time now. Like, my head's on a swivel when I go anywhere. Because people are just, they lose their fucking minds this time of year. They're so worried about this, but you can't worry about all the other stuff when you're driving. You can only worry about what you're doing, and that should be driving your fucking car. Not talking on the phone, not looking at ads, not whatever. So I call this basically it's just stupid season because people just get stupid. They lose their minds. And I don't know. I'm a cynical person, I guess, by nature. I'm a glass half empty kind of guy. And I think it's with reason. I think that I've had enough, and I'm not saying I've had awful, terrible, crappy shit happen to me. I've had some bad things happen to me. Yes, everybody has. It's just, that's life, man. But I think a couple weeks ago, I was talking about would I rather be, ugly and smart or beautiful and stupid. This is a prime example for me. I'd rather be beautiful and stupid because the glass is always half full. Everything's hunky-dory. Everything's great. Even if it isn't, you just always see the good side of things. I've been around long enough now where I've tried to see good in people and got burned, and you try to do the right thing and you get burned, and so like that glass used to be right in the middle, and so I'd say it's it's half full, but now it's actually evaporated a little bit, so it's not actually half full. It's more than half empty. You know, I don't know how else to say it. I don't know if I got through everything I wanted to. This has been a short week with the holiday, and I've done the best I can. What can you do, man? What can you do? Totally blow it at the very end. That's what you can do. I mean, you could just sign off and call it a podcast, or you can just like get weird about it. Anyways, I'm going to call this one an episode, folks. Thanks for listening. I am the kid. We'll catch you next time.